Here's our 3D printer, the Lulzbot Mini. Here is the power button for the Lulzbot Mini. Just turn it on like so. You'll hear it warm up. Here is the filament, the plastic that goes into the Lulzbot Mini and is heated up and poured out layer by layer onto this bed. This is the bed, this orange thing, to make your 3D print. Here's the heated nozzle. You'll notice it's dirty with old plastic that it heated up and poured out before, and the filament goes down into it. Now, this is safe to touch right now, even though I turned it on, because I'm not telling it to heat up, I'm not printing anything on the computer, okay? But once anything starts with this, once you do anything with this at all, if we tell it to move, if we tell it to heat up, we don't want to be touching any part of this, whether it's the bed, the heated nozzle, anything else in here, because you can be hurt by it moving, you can be hurt by it heating up and burning you, etc. Okay, this thing is actually powerful enough to crush your hand, and you can hurt the machine if it's supposed to be running and you're in here messing with it with your hands. Okay, so the main thing in fact, it should be the only thing you ever really have to do with this machine is changing the plastic to a different color, a different plastic for whatever you want to print. Okay, the first step to doing that is to heat up the plastic using the computer. Here's how to heat up the 3D printer using the computer. We're in a program called Cura. Let me see if this focuses. C-U-R-A, Cura. So if it's ever not open on the computer, you need to find it. By the way, if you didn't know, there's a little search button right there, and we can just type in the name of whatever program we want, and it'll come up here and we can open it. Alright? Now, you do need to have some kind of object that you can print loaded into Cura before it will let you hit the control button, which is right here. Okay? So again, the control button is in the upper left-hand corner of the main window of Cura. We're hitting the control button, and this window opens. This window here pops open. This is a window that you use to control the temperature, also to control some of the movement if you need to manually control the movement of the machine. But really it's all about the temperature for us right now. So we can set the main temperature setting is right here. It's this top one. There's no need usually to bother messing with this bed temperature here. The bed, by the way, is the orange plate that you print things on. Okay? So we're clicking temperature here because that heats up the what's called the hot end, which is what pours out the plastic. Okay? And we are going to set that. And this works for basically every plastic, so remember this number. We're going to set it to 240. Now, we haven't done anything yet except type this in. We need to hit the set button here. And you'll be able to tell it's heating up because there's this chart right here next to what we just typed in. But you guys see the red line? That is going to climb up and up and up until it gets to about 240, and then it's going to level off. That process will take about 2-3 minutes, so be patient. But you can see it's heating up relatively quickly. Again, we don't want to try to pull out this plastic until that gets all the way to 240. Okay, so we've been patient. We have waited for the temperature to raise to the level it needed to. And if we look across this, again, we should be at 240, which will be right there, sort of just between 200 and 250. And you'll really know it's up to the temperature it's supposed to be because it's leveled off now. It's not getting any hotter. It's not cooling back down. It's just staying at the same level. Okay? So now we are ready to take our fingers carefully and slowly, flip this top part open. The bottom part flips out, this guy. Remember that because we'll need to do the opposite in a minute and push that back in while lifting this up. And this plastic, this filament, should come out easy as pie. We just pull on it and You really only need to pull very gently, and since it got heated up, it can easily come out. Now, this plastic on the end could be a little hot, right? It's really not. It cools right off very quickly, but there's always a chance you could burn yourself, so you don't want to be touching that. Now, I'm taking the spool of plastic off of this hanger, and we're gonna pretend here that we want to replace it with this red spool. So I'm taking this red spool and carefully placing it on that same hanger, and while this is open, we're going to aim right there. See, there's a little metal gear that's kind of shiny, and just below that is a hole that's right around the same size in diameter as our filament here. And I'm taking the filament and pushing it down into that hole. You shouldn't have to force it. It should go down very easily if you put it in the right spot. And as we push, we should be able to see some of the old plastic start to come out. And eventually this will turn red. But we don't need to manually push and push and push, because we can have the computer do that until we see red. So let me show you how to do that. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna lift this back up and use my fingers to push this bottom flap up to where it needs to be. Now this movement here is a little bit tricky, because we need to lift this up while pulling it out here and give this bottom flap room to go where it needs to go. And now that's set. That's where it needs to be. Those two screws have gone back into these little valleys on the bottom flap, and it's all set. We know that's right. So we can hit the extrude button here. The extrude button. And again, our temperature's still at 240, and we can see that on that red line. And I'm hitting extrude here. That extrudes 10 millimeters of plastic at a time. So we just started to see the red come out from the heated end. I'm hitting extrude again. There we go. It's starting to bunch up and pile up. Don't worry about that. You do not want to stick your fingers anywhere close to that hot end. That thing right now is so hot, your skin will immediately start to burn and blister if you accidentally touch it. So, very dangerous. Don't put your fingers anywhere near there. We'll worry about the extra plastic later. I'm hitting extrude, let's say maybe 2 more times to be safe, and make sure that all we're getting is red plastic. So I hit it a total of 4 times, okay? And that, how many times you need to hit it before you only see the color you want coming out, sort of depends on the 2 colors you're changing. If you're changing from black to something else, you'll probably see black coming out for longer than any other color, just because it's so overpowering, okay? So anyways, we've got all this extra plastic sitting down here and dripping off this. We don't want that sitting on our bed when we're about to print the object we want to 3D print. So we do need to get rid of it now. But we are not going and sticking our hand anywhere in this. We want to take something safe, instead of using our hand, and use it to carefully grab the plastic, and just the plastic, to pull it away from the 3D printer. Now we've pulled away our excess plastic, we can pull it all the way out and away from the machine, so we're totally safe, and then we can throw that away. When you're using the tweezers to grab the plastic and pull it away, that you're not actually touching the tweezers to the machine at all, because you can damage the machine with these, potentially. So again, take the tweezers, grab the plastic, safely pull it away. You're never getting your hand anywhere close to the hot end. Now we are finally ready. I click print, and the machine immediately goes into automatic action to do everything it needs to do. Alright, and we know it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's ready, it's going. This screen will tell us the print started. Alright, so that's printing. If you realize you messed something up, or somebody said, no, I wanted it in a different color, just hit cancel. The quicker the better. Now, as soon as you hit cancel, you'll see it starts to cool off automatically. So if we want to heat it up again to pull the plastic out and put something new in, we need to once again hit set next to 240, and you should see that red line start to creep right back up as it heats back up. Okay, so that is the process we need to follow to unload and reload the filament, the plastic, from the 3D printer and start a 3D print, okay? Remember, keep yourself safe. Do not put your hand anywhere in this machine while it's moving around, and do not put your hand even close to the hot end while it's heated, okay? Use some tweezers, use something metal that we can be safe with, that's not going to burn, to get any kind of plastic or anything out of there. All right, thank you very much.